Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Story Nook. Go ahead, grab your tea, your water, your hot cocoa, whatever it is you would like, and we'll go ahead and read some more of Villainess Level 99. I may be the hidden boss, but I'm not the demon lord. This is issue 1 of the light novel series by Satori Tanabata, and our illustrator is T. It's been a minute since I read this series. I believe it's probably my most popular series, or at least most viewed book series that I've read on this channel. It's definitely the one you guys asked me to read the most. We have Yumilia. I'm trying to remember everyone's names. Hold on. Okay, cool. There's that page. It's been a while since I've looked at everyone. So we have Patrick Ashbatten, Humilia's friend. He has a crush on Humilia, if I recall correctly. Humilia Adultness. She's level 99. Her specialty is dark magic. Eleanor Hillrose. She is adorable. She's Humilia's friend. She also has a crush on Edwin Vashian. He is a prince of the country, bit of an asshole, jumps to conclusions. Elysian Eyelet. She is like the main. She was the heroine in the original world, which was a video game, and she gets to romance these three. She has light magic. She's supposed to be a saintess. Her magic skill is very weak. Oswald Grimsdale is... What do you do? I think you do some kind of magic. Yeah, so he's a magical genius. William Aries, I remember him being a soldier. So yeah. It's been a long minute since I've read. So I hope you're all doing well. Grab your tea, your hot cocoa, your water, all that good jazz. Remember, if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe so you can see more. I'm hoping to reach 100 subscribers, and then we'll do a little special where I'll read one of my published books, or at least a chapter of it, because I do write and publish books as well, mostly cute, adorable gay shit. Speaking of which, happy Thanksgiving. I have a new book that's been published, so I will advertise that at the end. Chapter 6, The Hidden Boss Receives a Confession. I do remember this. I remember reading this and getting very excited because I've been telling my husband about this. And we're gonna try to read for about 15-ish minutes because I do still have to get dressed for work and everything. But happy Thanksgiving, and then I'll try to read more so we'll have stuff for the weekend. I'm gonna try to upload a video a day. So yeah, support me in that endeavor. If I had the choice, I would not have wanted to be born into aristocracy. There were so many things to learn, such as etiquette, dances, and I hated conversing with excessive social pleasantries required among aristocrats. However, there are some moments where I've felt it might have been a good idea, a good thing, that I was born an aristocrat. Typically, when I was eating a delicious treat, eating something delicious cost a pretty penny. These treats would have been out of my budget if I were a commoner. Some treats I bought for myself, and some treats were gifts from Her Majesty or Eleanor. Today I planned on eating the cookies that were gifted by Eleanor. Though cookies didn't sound like much, they were probably quite delicious because Eleanor picked them out. And the one thing I could trust about her was her taste. Except her taste in men. Rita, could you prepare me some tea? Yes, my lady. Rita was very talented at preparing tea and always flawlessly cleaned my room. If you ignored the fact that she was employed by my father, she was the perfect maid. Delicious treats and delicious tea. It's another lovely day. I gracefully took a sip of my tea like a proper aristocrat's daughter. Oh, this tea tastes different than it usually does. The tip of my tongue feels tingly. Maybe Rita changed the tea leaves? Or it could just be that this batch was poor quality. Hey, Rita, are these the same leaves you usually use? Yes, it's the same as usual. It seems it was my tongue that was poor quality. Because it wasn't worth being an aristocrat. Perhaps it wasn't worth being an aristocrat after all. The treats I bought downtown were good enough anyway. The tea I had the next day also tasted strange. Maybe I'm starting to catch a cold. Not that I've ever caught one before. After school, I decided to return to my room early and rest as a precaution, only to be stopped on the way there by a man I didn't recognize. Excuse me, might you be Lady Eumelia? Yes, I am Eumelia. My name is Alistair. I work in the Kingdom's Department of Magical Instrument Development. I like your cooperation in developmental experiments for magical instruments. I had no obligation to cooperate, but I was interested in magical instruments currently under development. Thanks to magical instruments, I was able to live a life not too different from my past one. Sure, if it doesn't take too long. Yes, it'll be over shortly. I've prepared things in that empty classroom. The fact that they were asking me meant it was probably an endurance test or something along those lines. I was wondering where I was going to be taken, but it was apparently an experiment that could be done in an academy classroom. This is a new type of magic sealing monocle, he explained. We want to test if it can hold up to your magic, which is probably the strongest in this kingdom. Oh, so it's an endurance test after all. Alistair pulled out a magical instrument that looked like a pair of handcuffs. If I remember correctly, magic sealing manacles make targeted types of magic unusable. I believe they're used to restrain mages. Alistair put the magic sealing manacle on me. I wasn't sure what they were made of, but their weight was incomparably heavy to something like iron. It was probably sturdy in both magical and a physical sense. A man and a handcuffed female student in an empty classroom? This suddenly looks criminal. Should I try to use magic with these on? Yes. Try gradually increasing your magical input. If it seems like the instrument can't take it, I'll signal to call it. I attempted to cast a small spell, just as I was told to, but nothing happened. I slowly increased the amount of magic I was releasing, but there were no signs of any change. Finally, I tried to use my magic at full power, but even that ended in failure. The magical instrument was incredible. This was the first thing that's held up to my magic. That's my full power. This magical instrument is incredible, I told him in awe. As I was shivering, half moved and half frustrated at my possibly first ever sense of defeat, Alistair's next words almost went over my head. Okay, now's our chance, he shouted. Let's kill her and get the hell out of here. No, I haven't lost. Not yet. If I can't use magic, I just need to fight with physical strength. Yeah, I used all my strength to tear apart the magic sealing manacle. The chain on the manacle easily broke. Nice. Now we both have one win and one loss. It turned into a draw, huh? Only then did I realize that I was surrounded by armed men. Hey, what are you doing? Hurry up and kill her, Alistair commanded the others with a sleazy expression on his face. I'm sorry, I said. Yeah, that's right, Alistair smugly replied. The magical instrument experiment was a lie. I didn't think you would fall for it that easy. I broke this. I moved my eyes to the manacle and back up again. The other men had frozen after seeing me tear apart the manacle, but Alistair seemed to have just noticed. Though he was happily cackling just moments ago, the color was now draining from his face. That was just a joke. We appreciate your cooperation with the experiment. Well, I'll be off then. Do you really think I believe that? It seemed that I was about to be killed a moment ago, and I was mortified that they thought they could neutralize me by just sealing my magic. I captured Alistair and his men and handed them off to the kingdom's soldiers. According to the headmaster, there would have been someone behind the scenes who let them into the academy. So I still needed to be cautious. 2 days later, I felt something strange on my chest and woke up to find a masked man before me. Is he some kind of pervert? Did he touch my breast? No way, the man mumbled as his eyes widened in shock. I noticed that he was holding a large knife and that there was a hole in the chest area of my clothing. I had probably been stabbed despite there being no damage to my body, so, you're like an assassin, right? I asked. Yeah, freak! It appeared that I had just been the victim of attempted murder once again. I wasn't sure of the assassin's level, but there was no way I could be killed that easily. A short while later, Patrick called out to me in the halls of the academy, but it was for the best that I kept some distance between us for a while. So since there's been 2 assassination attempts on me already, you should probably stay away from me, I told him, but despite my explanation, he didn't move. Are you alright though, Yumilia? He asked, staring straight at me intently. What? As you can see, I'm perfectly fine. I'm not worried about you being killed. I'm not sure how I should say this, but I doubt you could just be perfectly fine knowing someone wants to kill you. Someone was trying to kill me. This was probably a first for me. Was there a part of me that was hurt by that? I do think I've experienced that feeling of being attacked somewhere before. That's why Patrick continued while I remained lost in thought. I think you should stay with me for a while. You don't have to worry about anything. I'll take care of your enemy. Oh, it's the feeling of fighting monsters. What monsters? I was used to the murderous intent coming from monsters. It had taken me longer to recognize the feeling from assassins because it was not as strong coming from them. It was safe to say I was used to being in kill or be killed situations. I explained that to Patrick, but he didn't seem satisfied. Well, it's different with monsters than it is with human. Watch out, an arrow flew in from the open window. It probably wouldn't have hurt me if I got hit, but I didn't want it to tear my clothes, so I grabbed the arrow with my hand. I'll go capture the marksman. You should hide just in case, I said to Patrick, before jumping out the window to capture the amateur who shot the arrow. I won't forgive them no matter what. What if the arrow had hit Patrick? Perhaps the academy had become a hotbed for assassins. We didn't have classes tomorrow, so I planned to head outside of the academy. Of course, I was going to keep it a secret from Patrick, since he would probably stop me. I didn't want him to get involved. Maybe the assassins would actually leave me alone outside of the academy. Surround her, and skewer her. I was surrounded by roughly 20 scoundrels in a back alley of the royal capital. The men looked like your typical villains, armed with spears and swords. Does this still count as an assassination? Dark bind, I called, casting the spell with a sigh. One after another, the men were restrained by the arms that reached out of their shadows. Ah, what is this? I was starting to reach my limit. I had been leaving it to the kingdom soldiers to interrogate the assassins, but the identity of the person behind all of this was still unclear. It was probably about time I took matters into my own hands and looked for the culprit myself. Who is your leader? No one answered me, but the men's gazes all focused on one man, the man who had instructed them to surround me. You must be the leader, who requested this job. How should I know? Shadowlance spear shot out of the shadows and pierced his foot, causing blood to splatter all over. Ah! Heal, I treated his injury with recovery magic. There wouldn't even be a scar left over. How many times do I need to do this in order for you to talk? I didn't have the skills to torture him effectively, without killing him, so my only option was to repeat this process. There was no way he would die, and it didn't leave any lasting damage, so you could say it was a humane method of torture. That's brutal. That's not something a person would do. She's a freak after all. Well, I called it humane, but the other men didn't seem to respond to it too well. It doesn't have to be the leader who talks, I said, turning to the other men. They immediately fell silent, averting their gazes. I really don't know. You have to believe me, the leader desperately pleaded. I was just told by someone who wouldn't show their face to kill a black-haired girl leaving the Royal Academy. It looks like you haven't had enough. Don't worry. I wouldn't run out of mana even if we did this 100 times. You've got it all wrong. I'm telling the truth. Please believe me. Ultimately, the leader started crying. It seemed that he really didn't know. The other assassins likely had their services requested by someone they didn't know as well. It was no wonder that the investigation hadn't progressed. Now that I was under attack everywhere, my room became my only safe haven. It was broken into once before, but now all possible entrances and exits were barricaded. I considered flying around on Rio indefinitely, but I couldn't sleep in the sky, and the burden on Rio to keep flying like that would be considerable. So I decided against the idea. I sighed. It was in my room drinking tea Rita had prepared for me. It still had a strange taste to it. Should I go see a doctor if this continues? Everything else tastes normal. I started thinking about how the recent attacks had gotten kind of sloppy. Usually, assassins use something like poison. Hey, Rita, could you try this tea for me? I asked, handing her the cup I was drinking. She took it in both hands and stared intently at the cup. Her hands began to shake, causing the tea inside to swish around. She had turned completely pale by the time she slowly began to raise the cup to her lips. Please forgive me, my sister had been taken hostage, Rita said shakily as she placed the cup down on the table. So it was poison after all. It appeared that I had been drinking poison tea for the past week. The poison was probably weak, considering it wasn't very effective. What kind of poison is in here? I was told it was a strong poison with at least a lethal dose of 1 drop. I put 5 drops in each time. Come on, me. How did you not realize? In the game, poison had several levels of strength, each having a set amount of damage it dealt. It seemed like this was the case for the real world as well. If it was proportional damage, I might have been dead by now. Or actually, I would have noticed if I was truly dying. This incident was a tragedy caused by my bottomless HP. Rita was most likely instructed to poison me by her employer. So the person who instructed you to do so was... Yes, it was the master, Rita admitted. Perhaps she had given up and thought there was no way out of this. The person trying to kill me was my father. Oh, and we have 3 dots, so we have a scene break. So we will finish that on another day. And it's on page 180. So thank you all very much for being here. I hope you all are having a wonderful holiday. Happy Thanksgiving. This was not the kind of confession I was hoping for when I originally got to that chapter title. I really thought Patrick would finally be going, hey, Emilia, I like you. Can we go on a date? It is not. I should have known, but I was excited. Instead, it's the maid being hired by the dad to kill her. So, thank you all so much for being here. You're all amazing and wonderful. I hope you all are staying healthy. Remember to stay hydrated. I hope you all enjoy your holidays. Let's go ahead and thank our Patreon and Ko-fi supporters: Kaleidoscope Chick, Tweety Cakes, Axel1154, Cassie G, Jadas DS, Axel Alcaraz, Semi-Random Sevens, and Micah. You're all wonderful. You're all fantastic. I hope you all are doing well. Thanks to y'all's support, I'm able to carve out more of my time to be able to do this. I would love to be able to read stories to you as my main job, but it does not pay. So I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you're staying safe. I hope all that good stuff. If you guys would like your name read at the end of my videos or written in the credits, support me on Patreon, Ko-fi. You can commission me on Ko-fi. Any commissions on Ko-fi, your names will be put in these credits for like ever. Patreon, you get early access to my artwork, my writing, all that good stuff. Other ways you can support me, my main channel, Chrissy Duffy, it's just missing watch time. Just put on my stuff at the end of videos, like just watch my videos in the background, help me get to that watch time, that'd be great. Interact with my videos, like, comment, subscribe, share them with other people you would like. I have Redbubble if you want to get my artwork on any, like, stickers, t-shirts, things like that. I've got stuff on Redbubble. I also write and publish books, So I write cute, adorable, fluffy gay romance. Most of my characters tend to be like kelpies, witches, vampires, banshees. In fact, I just published one recently. It is on Barnes and Noble, Smashwords. It should be on, hopefully it'll be available on Amazon by the time this video comes out. If not, it will be available on Amazon e-stores soon. It's available as an ebook. You can get it pretty much anywhere. And the name of the book is called Canning. It's about Jeannie and her girlfriend, Rosabella. Jeannie wakes up on her couch. She has no idea how she wound up sleeping on her couch. She has a bout of sleep paralysis and then finds her girlfriend, Rosabella, who is a banshee, just canning random fruits and vegetables inside her living room. Well, not her living room, but her kitchen. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope you all have a lovely day. Remember to stay safe, stay healthy, all that good jazz. Bye bye.